It doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while we receive support requests from fans whose overclocked multi-GPU systems doesn't seem to run stable, for which they suspect their power supply unit. But in many cases they are not aware that with multi-rail power supply units it's very important onto which socket you connect your components. Before we solve the mystery, we should probably explain the term multi-rail first. That's quite simple. A rail is a 12-volt line, and if a power supply unit has got several of these, then that's a multi-rail system. If you happen to have several graphics cards in your system, then it's highly recommended to use individual rails for each of these. For example, within our straight power 11 with 750 watts, the rails reserved for PCIe connectors deliver 24 ampere each. Your average RTX 2070 card demands 175 watts due to its specifications, which roughly translates into 14.5 ampere. And if you overclock it, you quickly end up devouring 19 ampere or more. So if you connect two of these cards to one 12-volt rail, they have to share the available ampere and its protective circuit as well, which is highly likely to jump into action when two overclocked RTX 2070 run under full load. Especially if you intend to overclock your graphics card, it's vital to consult your included manual to find out which rail is behind which PCIe connector. That's because it's really important to understand that a rail does not equal a connector, as you can see here. Our high-watt straight power 11 are special cases, as their PCIe connector number 2 is being accommodated by two rails, which is why you should use connector number 1 and connector number 3 when running in dual GPU mode. A single and power-hungry graphics card like the Vega 64 featuring two 8-pin connectors, on the other hand, should be plugged into connector number 2 so it can use the full power from two rails this way. Our Dark Power Pro 11 has also a very distinctive characteristic: its overclocking key. What it does is deactivate the protective circuits of each single rail, thus combining them into one massive 12-volt line with a lot of power. But no need to worry, of course the protection for this beast remains in place, which makes this feature a boon for overclockers. An alternative for them might also be our Power Zone, our only dedicated single rail power supply. And the Pure Power 11 positions itself in the middle between those two, as it features two 12-volt rails. One more thing, running our power supply in a single rail mode always comes with a minimal risk, as one faulty component can have a negative effect on other parts. So if you want to play it safe, then multi-rail is the system for you. And as different watt classes can have also different connectors, it's highly recommended to thoroughly study the manual. This way you know exactly where the CPU gets its power from, where you should and should not connect your graphics cards in order to avoid limitations which lead directly to a stable and long-lasting operation of your computer. Oh, and by the way, next to its strong 12-volt rails, a power supply unit feature also minor rails. We have created a dedicated video for that topic, which is linked in the info box and in the end titles. Well then, stay quiet.